not kept up with the 1,000-Pound Best Friend TLC show in the longest time. I honestly had forgotten that it was even a TV show until they started popping up on my For You page recently. But it's where the three best friends, Vanessa and the other two ladies, I actually don't remember the other two best friends' names, but I do remember Vanessa's name. Hello! But anyways, I always love Vanessa, and she recently came across my For You page. Are you kidding? She looks amazing. The lady, she's literally lost like 2 of herself. I feel like she's less than half the size that she was before. She has done such an amazing job. I actually have not experienced this level of joy when it came to somebody's weight loss story since I saw that Tammy finally lost the weight. Like when Tammy first popped up on my For You page after she had finally like lost the weight and I realized she had really buckled down and did the damn thing. Oh my God, I am always so happy. I'm always so happy for the girls, right? Always so happy. Oh my God, I love the happy endings. The reason I'm bringing this up and the reason I want to talk about this with you guys is because once the show came across my For You page again and I started seeing more and more videos about it, I have come to realize that apparently the other two best friends are no longer friends with Vanessa. No longer friends with Vanessa. And yeah, I want to talk about it. Because what do y'all mean y'all made the decision to hang out as a duo and not a trio ever since Vanessa lost the weight? What do you mean y'all only hang out the 2 of y'all now? And then y'all have the audacity to say that y'all feel abandoned by Vanessa when y'all are the ones who made the decision to start excluding her. Y'all essentially kicked her out the friend group. Meanwhile, she was carrying the friend group on her back, okay? But that's another story for another day. She was the only thing that made that friend group worthwhile, worth watching. But anyway, not only have they made the decision to like only hang out as a duo and not a trio, they basically spend all of their camera time talking shit about Vanessa. Every time they're together, the topic of conversation is Vanessa. Never talking about their weight loss. Never talking about their own future plans. They can always find time to talk about Vanessa. Oh, she thinks she's a know-it-all. Oh, I don't even like to eat in front of her no more because I just know she's going to look at my plate and be like, do you really need that? And while I understand that you deciding to lose weight and get healthier does not then give you a free pass to try to like clock the tea of and, you know, micromanage the eating habits of everyone around you, right? Because just because you wanted to lose the weight doesn't mean everyone around you wants to lose weight or needs to lose weight. But I thought the whole point of the 3 of you getting y'all's own television show based around all 3 of you attempting to lose weight and get weight loss surgery was to document the 3 of y'all holding each other accountable and helping each other reach y'all's goals. Like, I thought that was the whole point of the show. And it's like, maybe your goals and your aspirations in life have changed, which is perfectly fine. If you have decided that you are no longer unhappy with where you're at in life and you don't want to lose any more weight, that is your decision. Live your life, do your thing. But then why are you still on the show? Like, why doesn't this just become the Vanessa show? Why are y'all still on the show? Because y'all never talk about weight loss. Anytime somebody can finally pry just even a little bit of a statement out of y'all about weight loss, it's just like, oh, I'm not really happy with where I'm at, but I'm doing good. Like, just something very vague, very casual. And y'all are essentially resentful of Vanessa for having formed better habits. And those habits actually showing up in her day-to-day life and behavior. Which is like one of the biggest steps when it comes to weight loss, is changing your lifestyle and changing your habits and maintaining those changes up until the point that they now become new habits where you don't have to think about it. You don't have to force yourself to do it. It just becomes second nature. That's why they tell you like the first couple weeks in the gym, miserable. But eventually you will get to the point where if you have a day where you skip the gym, you'll kind of feel off. You'll feel like your day's been thrown off because it has now become a part of your everyday routine. You have formed a new habit, right? So how are y'all mad at y'all's best friend for very clearly knowing what she's doing because she's actually getting results? She's getting skin removal. She's hitting her goals. She's lost the weight. How are y'all mad at her for knowing what she's doing and then trying to give y'all the advice that very clearly works? Y'all are some hating. Oh my God. And honestly, the more I looked into it, the more I listened to them talk about Vanessa, the more I came to the conclusion that I genuinely believe that the 2 of them only kept Vanessa around as the, yeah, we may be big, but at least we're not as big as her friend. Because while we like to go on and on about the skinny girls in the world who like to keep a fat friend around, there are lots of big people in the world who also like to keep a fat friend around. Like, oh, I may be fat, but I am not as fat as her. I genuinely believe that that's the place that Vanessa held in their lives. And unfortunately for Vanessa, she actually viewed it as genuine friendship. She actually genuinely viewed them going on this show as an opportunity for them to hold each other accountable and support each other in order for them all to reach their goals and lose the weight. And instead, I feel like they brought Vanessa along on the TV show as a like potential distraction when people would ask about their own progress. Because they just made the immediate assumption that Vanessa would always be doing worse than them, simply based off the fact that she started out bigger than them. So it'll always be a case of, yeah, we're big, but we're not as big as her. And if we're not doing that good with our weight loss, she'll be doing worse, you know? So we could be like, yeah, we haven't lost as much weight as we wanted to lose, but look at her. She's not doing good at all. We only lost 15 pounds, but she only lost 10. And the next thing you know, she has blown them out of the water. Now they only like to hang out with each other. Yeah, probably because the two of you will still sit around and enable one another. I'll still make excuses for one another. And Vanessa's not at that place in her life anymore. She is no longer spending her time making excuses as to why she cannot improve or change. She's too busy actually improving and changing. And they're resentful of her for that. Because how dare you take away our fat friend? What are we supposed to look at now to feel better about ourselves? What are we supposed to use now as a comparison for why we shouldn't feel too bad about ourselves? Because at least we're not as bad as her. At least we're not as bad as them. With friends like that, oh my God. You keep doing the damn thing, Vanessa. With this new improved life, may you find new and improved friends as well. And side note, a key factor that I feel like played a major role in Vanessa having far more success than her friends, despite her facing more obstacles and starting out at a bigger size than they were, was that despite her maybe not being 100% happy with the size that she was at the very beginning, despite her maybe not being 100% happy with the number that was on the scale, despite her maybe not being 100% content in the place that she was at in life at that certain point in time, despite all of that, she still managed to always come across as though she still genuinely loved herself. Like, it came across as though she still genuinely found herself funny. She genuinely seemed to enjoy her own company. She genuinely did seem to find herself beautiful. I mean, the lady went out in a thong bikini before she had ever lost a pound. Said she felt sexy and free. I know that's right, girl. But she always seemed to not take herself too seriously and to not criticize herself too heavily. So while she may look in the mirror and see things that she would have liked to change, it didn't seem as though she despised her own reflection. It didn't seem as though she hated herself. And so I feel as though she never was able to fall into the trap that I feel her friends fell into, which is, once I lose the weight, then I can finally love myself. A lot of times, that's not how it works. A lot of times, self-love is what is required to make the changes that are necessary, because you know deep down inside that you love yourself enough to do the hard things that are going to give you the best results humanly possible. It takes a certain level of self-love to be able to sacrifice in the moment in order to be able to provide yourself with better in the future. People who do not love themselves do not dedicate any time or effort to self-improvement. It takes self-love to make the sacrifices. Vanessa had self-love. And I feel like they hated her for that before, which is why they kind of, now that I look back on it, treated her like an annoyance. Now, ever since losing the weight, she seems like an even more happy and joyous person than she was originally. And I feel like that's made them hate her even more now. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping, Vanessa.